yen is on a uptrend. It was on a downtrend. You can draw a downtrend line here, and then if I were to draw a downtrend line, you can draw a downtrend line here, and you can see that it has already broke and retested the trend line before it has broken out to the upside. So let's move on to the daily time frame to draw a trend line. I will not draw a trend line on the weekly time frame because it is too steep a ascent. So I'll be only passing by about 2 points. So it wouldn't be a valid trend line. So let me move on to my daily time frame to draw my trend line and to look at the price action even closer. So if I were to change it to the daily time frame, you can see that it was still in an uptrend. However, if I were to draw a trend line now, you can see that it has touched 1 point, 2 point, 3 point. At the fourth point, it has actually broke out of the trend line before retesting it, and it is on a push down. And if you were to look at the price action, before that it was making a higher high and a higher low. However, from here onwards, it has made a lower low and a lower high. So at this point, I can draw a counter trend line from sloping downwards. So this is currently now in a downtrend. So currently now CAD has already broken out the uptrend structure and is now in a downtrend. You might wonder why I start drawing my trend line from here. It's because if I were to draw a trend line from here, I will only touch 2 points, and also it is very far to the ascent right here. So I would adjust my trend line here, and even if I draw on close, so if I draw on close, just draw the trend line out, you can see that it has already broken the structure, retested the trend line before it pushed down. So let's move on to a even lower time frame to determine our entry. So I'll move on to our hourly time frame. So in our hourly time frame, you can see the downtrend line even clearer. So once again, I can draw a trend line. However, it will not be a good trend line because it is only touching 2 points and tentatively the third point. So I will not draw a downtrend, but you can see the price action. You can see that it's making lower highs as well as lower lows right here. So I will currently find a position to short. So for my entry, I'll choose it at this horizontal swing high resistance right here. This horizontal swing high resistance. So let me just take it out, and this will be my sell entry level. So one thing I can do is to find a Fibonacci retracement. So for retracement, I can take from high to low. So if I were to take a retracement from high to low, and if I open up the 78.6% level, see that the 78.6 level is directly above our sell entry. Next thing I can do, find out Fibonacci extension. So for extension, I can take 3 points. So from 1, 2, and 3 to find my resistance level. So if I were to take an extension and I take this point and this point and this point, and I open up the 127.2% level, you can see that it forms a Fibonacci confluence area with our 78.6 retracement as well as our sell entry level. So let me just highlight this entire area out, and this will be our bearish area. Next, we can find our take profit. So for our take profit, I wouldn't put it all the way here because it's slightly too far. I'll put it nearer. So I'll put it at this horizontal support right here. Is a pullback support. So I change to graph. I'll put back at this area here. Just nice. There's a level here as well. So I'll just put it at this area as my I'll put at this area as my take profit. So let me just label this as my take profit. So once again, take profit level, I can find Fibonacci retracement and extension levels to strengthen it. So first thing I can do first is to take a retracement. So for retracement, I can take from low to high. So if I were to change to retracement, I take 2 points low to high, and if I open up the 61.8% level, you can see that the 61.8% level is directly above our take profit. Next thing I can do, find the extension level. So for extension, I can take this point, and this point. So if I were to take an extension, take 1 point, 2 point, and 3 point. Sorry, let me just adjust this point. And if I open up the 50% level, you can see that the 50% level rests directly on our take profit very nicely. So let me just highlight this area. This area will be my bullish area. Last but not least, I can find my stop loss level. So for stop loss level, I'll put it outside the structure. So imagine there's a tentative trend line here. So outside of the structure, and I'll place it at a graphical level. So I'll place it at this horizontal swing high resistance right here. So let me just take it to this point. So out of this point, it shows that our idea is invalid and there's no push down towards our take profit. So let me just put this as our stop loss level. So same thing for stop loss, I can use Fibonacci to make it stronger. So same thing, I will take this entire extension again, 1.2 point and 3 point, and I'll open up the 161.8% level instead. And you can see that 161.8% level is directly below our stop loss level. Last thing I will do, I will take a Fibonacci retracement. So for retracement, I can take this move down because it's actually a separate movement. So I can take this separate move here from high to low. And if I open up the 127.2% level, you can see that it forms another Fibonacci confluence area, which makes this a stronger level. So I'll probably put our stop loss slightly above all these areas, which is where I'll put our stop loss at the graphical swing high here. And let me just label this area as our bearish area. So my verdict is probably that prices will push towards our sell entry before pushing down to our take profit level. So I can open up the take profit to stop loss ratio, short position, and I open up, and you can see that the risk to reward ratio is about 1:2, so it's quite ideal. Let me just change the arrow. Alright, so the last thing I can do to put the final nail in the coffin is to use an indicator. So for indicator, I will use stochastics. So if I open up stochastics, and if I change to only the D% line, just change the color thickness as well, so you all can see it clearer. And if I change my stochastics to a Fibonacci number, let's say 21, you can see that with every bounce there's a bounce in stochastics as well, which is very nice as it reacts nicely to the graph. The stochastics react very nicely to the graph, right? So if I were to draw a resistance or support line on the stochastics, I'll draw here, and you can see that it's reacted 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, and it's approaching for the 4th time. So there's is more or less stochastics will reverse at this point, which is our 92.62 level. So prices will push up a little to our 92.62 resistance level before pushing it down, which is in line with our analysis. Do you know that you can send your trades directly through from TradingView to your FX